me, Andy. The tea of the day today is just a generic green tea. I didn't really feel like making anything else, so there's that. But I don't know what the feedback is on the why I like books more than people thing. I didn't know if I was ever gonna post it, and I ran out of things. Things don't go as planned. That's life. And just, I don't know what else to say along those lines, but I do know that this week it's a book review. I just finished Stalking Jack the Ripper about an hour ago, and this book is helping change my mind about how I feel about mystery. As much as it pains me to say it, I'm changing my mind on mystery. I am starting to enjoy it as long as it's the right book. This was definitely the right book. So, this book takes place during the Victorian era when Jack the Ripper was stalking the streets. Get it? Yeah. I'm a dork right now. But it's about a girl named Audrey Rose she's part of a higher class family in the Victorian era, and if you know anything about that, then you know that the girls were raised to be a certain way for a certain reason. And they had no say. Which still kind of coincides with how things are today, but I digress. But in this book, her uncle is a scientist, and he's a forensic scientist who, cuts open dead bodies for investigation purposes. And it's lovely. And she's interested in that. She's been interested in that kind of stuff ever since her mother died. From being sick, because that was normal. Her father doesn't know. And if he knew, her father is very religious, so if he found out, she would be in big trouble, and that plays in later. But her uncle happens to be the man who's operating on the bodies that Jack the Ripper kills. If you know anything about Jack the Ripper, it will help you, kind of, but it really doesn't matter, because when Carrie wrote this book, she kind of made it more like you didn't have to know anything about Jack the Ripper to enjoy it, which I really like. I kind of liked that little feeling of satisfaction in the back of my head that was like, you know what really happened. I have a report on Jack the Ripper. I'm very interested in that kind of stuff because I'm a morbid freak. Which is why partly why I enjoy this book, probably. But when Audrey Rose goes through this fun, well, not really fun, but like interesting mystery of trying to figure out who it is, she meets this guy who is an apprentice, so to speak, of her uncle named Thomas. Thomas. He reminds me of my ex a little bit, I'm gonna be honest. But still getting pretty close to the list of fictional boyfriends. But he goes with her on this little journey of trying to figure out who the murderer is, because it gets to the point where first her father is accused, then her uncle, and it's just this big thing that it gets personal for her. The only thing that I really had a problem with was the fact that the one character, he was in it and then he wasn't, and just, I really wish there would have been more of a push for him. He was the investigator on the case, and it's just, there should have been more of a push there because of what turns out to be part of it. And it's just, I really, really wish that was there, even though Thomas is who I ship with her. But I just wish this investigator had been pushed a little bit more into it to be there. But that didn't really affect my view on the story. I quite enjoyed it. But 4 out of 5 stars. And I don't know what to say about it changing my view on mystery. I don't mind that changed my view on mystery, but with the plot was so intricately like woven, and it was perfect, and just where everything fell, like she wanted it to be that way, and like she makes you think that it's this person, and then jumps to another person completely disregarding the original person that she made you think it was, and just goes back and forth, and then it suddenly just explodes at the end. I kind of feel like the ending was a little abrupt, but not in a bad way. I mean, I really wish there was more, because I love this story so much. This is, I can't say her last name. This is Carrie's debut novel. Anything else that she writes, I think I will probably pick up, because it was so nice and so perfectly done that I can't really have a problem with it, other than the one character who I can't give much else about him without spoiling what goes on. But, and like just the relationships that Audrey has with people, like they're so deliberate, and she's such a strong-willed person, which is so refreshing for me to see, because when I studied the Victorian era, like there's a whole list of reasons that women would have been thrown in an insane asylum, and she breaks a lot of those things, and it works so well for her, and I need there to be more. I really do. But I highly, highly, highly suggest Stalking Jack the Ripper. And just, when you get to the end, it is, wow. I did not see it coming. I have notes in a book that I was trying to figure out who it is, and I never, ever expected it to be who it was. But I have a page in my little notebook that I carry with me of who I thought it was and reasons why, and just I figured that it wouldn't be who I thought it was because of how intricate the plot was. Highly suggest it though. Please pick it up. It's so good. So I know this was quick. Battery on my camera's dying. So see you in the next chapter. Bye.